Good day everyone. Today we will talk about one of the most important topics in chemistry, which is about states of matter, and this includes first solids, then liquids, and then gases. So let's go through the learning objectives so we know what we are going to learn in this lesson. So the first one is definition of matter. Here we will talk about the matter itself, and we will know how to define it. And then we will learn about the properties of each matter. So we focus mostly on the properties, and then changing of states of matter. So we will talk about how to change from one state to another and check out through the processes. And then the last one is solutions terminology. So in here we will talk about the key terms like solutions, solvent, and soluble, such terms which are scientific and really be needed throughout your chemistry journey. And what is matter? Matter is anything that has a mass and a volume. So this can be any object or any tool that you use, and like literally anything that exists as that and can possess a certain amount of mass and a volume. So we will go through the second objective, which is about the properties. So here in the first section, which is about the diagrams, you can see the diagrams and arrangements of the particles. Solids are arranged very tightly, and the liquids are arranged a little bit in a regular arrangement, and gases are really have more space around it and they can freely move. So arrangement of particles. Solids have regular arrangement, and liquids and both gases has randomly arrangement. And movement of particles of these matters are solids can only vibrate about a fixed position. As they are really close to each other, they won't have not enough space to travel to. And then liquids only move around each other, and while gases move quickly in all directions, as there are much more space than the other two states. And closeness of particles, they are very close, as you can see in this diagram. And in liquid, they are close, but they have still some place to move around. And in gases, they are far apart. And the state which has the most energy is gases. The energy is kinetic energy, and the least state which has the least amount of energy is solids, as they are tightly packed and they have less space to go through and use their energy. So now we will go through the processes in which states are changed from one state to another. And first, solids. Let's start from the bottom section here. Solids are turned into liquids by melting. Melting is I think everybody knows what melting is, and vice versa process is freezing, which is turning liquid to solid. And if we want to turn liquid into gas, we can use evaporation. Just keep in mind that evaporation is not exactly boiling, and you might lose some marks if you just confuse the difference between evaporation and boiling. So if we want to convert gas into a liquid, we use condensation, and this is really common in exams, so just consider it as the fundamental idea. And if we want to turn directly from gases to solid, we use desublimation. And then if you want to directly change the states of solid to gas, we use sublimation. So I think it is all clear, and you should just memorize these key terms, and as you work out more exercises, it will be in your mind in a permanent memory. And the last section is expressed in this table. Here are the key 6 terms. The first one is solvent. It is just liquid in which a solid dissolves, and the example might be just the water in seawater, and the second term is solute. It is the substance which dissolves in a liquid to form a solution. So example might be the salt in seawater. So the third term is the mixture formed when the third term is solution. It is really common, and it is the mixture formed when a solute dissolves in solvent. So it might be seawater, and seawater is a good example of solution. And then saturated solution. It is a solution with the maximum concentration of a solute dissolved in the solvent. And example might be seawater in the Dead Sea. And the opposite of saturated is dilute. So it is the solution with the minimum concentration. Just keep it in mind. And soluble means soluble describes a substance that will dissolve in a solution, and it can be salt is soluble in water, so salt can easily dissolve in water. And insoluble describes a substance that will not dissolve, so sand is insoluble in water, so sand cannot dissolve and become the part of the solution in water. So I think it is all clear, and we take the images from, say, my exams notes from IGCSE, Edexcel chemistry, and I think everybody understood this topic fully. And if you have any questions, just let us know in comments, and like and subscribe.